Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Renting Monkey,
Hey, guys.
and the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
I like waffles.
And I'm your Lord of Punishment, Scribe Light. And boy, has the day punished me, but not in the good way. But I'm going to set that aside tonight. Because hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope you've all had a good and productive week. Hope those of you who are in the cold places have stayed warm, and those of you who are in the warm places don't gloat too hardly over the cold people. Let's see. I was going to say something else, but now it has left my brain. Oh, well. How are you, Satsu?
I'm good. I paid rent today, so that's done.
Mm-hmm.
Hooray!
Yay! And how are you, Monkey?
I'm okay. How are you doing, Scribe?
Woe is me.
Well, you know, in perspective, I'm fine. It was just a really bad day at work, which is just the latest in several of the last 2 weeks, which doesn't make anything better, but it makes trying to come down off of that difficult. But that's why I'm here, and that's why I also want to say thank you to everybody, because I did gripe about this in the abstract on Twitter for a moment, and thank you everyone who sent good wishes and cute puppy images and things like that to alleviate my anxiety. I do appreciate it. But we're not here to talk about my gripes and groans, at least not the bad ones. We're here to presumably entertain and inform you. We are infotainment of a kind.
I'm only the tainment part.
I thought they're the taint.
There's no info that comes from me. Not worth knowing, at least.
I don't know. You know more about economics and political systems than I do.
Oh, don't put that lie out there.
Okay. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button if you have not already, and many of you have not. We're at 113 watching, 43 likes. Can we get to 100 before 15 minutes after the hour? Oh my God, we've done it before, guys. Can we do it again? I don't know. You tell me. And share our stuff. I have been a little remiss in things lately, but I have perfectly valid reasons for that. I know that Satsu and even Monkey has new stuff out in the last couple days to share with people. So please do so. Thank you, Dark Shade. Sorry, thank you, Dark Shade.
Excuse me.
Wait.
Keep going. I was coughing. I'm
Wait.
sorry. Go ahead.
Jesus, it's Dark Shade's turn. You will have your time. Cough. Dark Shade, thank you. Fun fact, bananas are technically herbs. Are they? Is that true?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I know tomatoes are technically fruit.
I don't know.
Herbs.
Not sure.
Okay. All right. Monkey?
What?
You were going to say something?
I'm sure I was, but I have no idea what.
Oh, for God's sakes. Okay. Well, two things to do before we get into the news. First and foremost, we have a birthday to sing. Jenna P's mom, Susan, has a birthday today.
Oh.
And we all know Jenna P., one of the chat mothers, I think we could probably say with some certainty. We have several. Awesome. We have several, but Jenna's one of them. And so, Monkey, if you would begin with the honors as such.
What was the name? I'm so sorry.
Susan.
Susan. Oh, man. Gonna be one of them nights, y'all. Susan, are you out there? Are you listening? Jenna's asked us to do this, so if you don't like it, blame her.
There you go.
This one's for you. And a 1. And a 2.
Happy birthday
to you.
To you.
Happy birthday, Mama Jenna.
Happy birthday
to you.
To you.
Thank you for making such an awesome person.
Happy birthday,
dear Susan.
Dear Susie.
You don't know if she like being called that.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday. I hope you had a really good one. I really do.
Indeed.
Mini Lisper says my ears are bleeding. Hey, I did it as gently as I usually do it when I do it gently. That was me being gentle. Monkey was doing the growling thing. That's his fault.
I ain't do nothing. Monkey didn't do nothing, y'all.
The other thing to mention, and Satsu encouraged me to do so. So apparently there's going to be a new addition to the Mortal Kombat game. Word is they're adding Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And when Satsu brought this up, my question was in my head, like, what would the fatalities be for Shaggy? And two things came to mind. And so I want to put them out there because I only heard about this like 5-10 minutes ago. So this is my prediction. I have two predictions of what the fatalities might be for Shaggy. One, in some fashion, he's going to set up his opponent to be run over by the mystery machine with Scooby-Doo driving or the rest of the team behind the wheel in some fashion. And the second one is Shaggy's going to have the person standing there all dazed and everything, and he's going to say something like, and the whole time it was Mr. Parker from the amusement park or something. He's going to grab the top of the opponent's head and rip off their face like it's a mask on a costume, except it's not a mask on a costume. He just rips their face off. And then realizing he's made a mistake, he's just going to like sneak off of frame with that little like,
zoinks.
Well, either zoinks or one of those little like tiptoe piano things when he's like sneaking along. Tick, 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 tick. It'll be something like that. Those are my predictions.
Those are excellent.
Snubber says they made a petition. They never said he was official. Well, you never know.
Yeah, they didn't say it was official, but
stranger things have happened. So.
Indeed.
Anyway, anything else to plug before we get into the news? Do you guys have a stream tonight?
We do.
Yeah.
We'll be playing 7 Days to Die again on the official server, and I'm actually excited because it's been a while since we've been on the official server.
Is this open server or just you guys?
Just us.
Okay. All right. So remember, guys, over on 2 Cents Plus after the stream, go watch them play 7 Days to Die. We're at 69 likes. And we still have 7 minutes to go before 15. Can we get to 100, guys? Let's find out. Moving on, our top story. The Virginia governor apologizes for racist and offensive costume in photos showing people in blackface and KKK garb.
Gasp.
Yeah, Democratic Virginia Governor Ralph Northam confirmed Friday he was in a racist yearbook photo showing one person dressed in blackface and another in the KKK signature white hood and robes, and apologized for, quote, the decision I made to appear as I did in this photo and for the hurt that decision caused then and now, unquote. The photograph, which was obtained by CNN, appears in the 1984 yearbook for Eastern Virginia Medical School. Wait, hold on. Let me read it as it's written because my brain corrected it for CNN, but I will read it as they wrote it. Appears in the 1984 yearbook for Eastern Virginia Medical School yearbook. You only need one yearbook. Pick one. Northam did not say if he was wearing the KKK outfit or the blackface. Well, because either one, he loses.
Like it matters.
Thank you, Cryptic. Fatalities is being doggy pounded by Scooby. Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Even Mortal Kombat, I don't think would go that far, but you never know. Let's see. The photo was first reported by the conservative website Big League Politics. The identity of the other individual in the photo is not yet known. The photo appears above Northam's yearbook quote. Quote, there are more old drunks than old doctors in this world, so I think I'll have another beer, unquote. I don't know about that. Northam confirmed he was in the photo and said in a statement that the costume was clearly racist and offensive. Quote, earlier today, a website published a photograph of me from my 1984 medical school yearbook in a costume that is clearly racist and offensive. I am deeply sorry for the decision I made to appear as I did in this photo and for the hurt that decision caused then and now. Yeah, you already said that earlier in the story. This behavior is not in keeping with who I am today and the values I have fought for throughout my career in the military, in medicine, and in public service. But I want to be clear. I understand how this decision shakes Virginians' faith in that commitment. I recognize that I recognize that it will take time and serious effort to heal the damage this conduct has caused.
What
See, now this goes back. Okay, now I don't know anything about this guy. I didn't even know the guy's name until today. This goes back to the same thing with the Harvey Weinstein fallout and Me Too. It's when somebody is accused of something that may in fact be true or partially true, and they make an open admission to everything. Like all the harm it's caused. Well, now you've apologized for harm you've caused. What harm have you actually caused? None, because nobody knew about this till now. And now people say, oh, well, that's not good enough. You have to resign. You know?
Yeah, he just said, yeah, my bad. I was a dumb kid. But now he's like parroting all the talking points that he thinks he should be making right now, thinking that that's going to save him. But they're going to be like, no, if you really feel bad, you'll kill yourself.
Well, he has to, because he's out there on TV repeatedly talking about how racist Trump is.
That is true. That is also true.
So he has to parrot. Now, I agree with you 100%. I was a dumbass kid. It was 1984, for fuck's sake. We're not talking like last year. But yeah, he has to come out there and admit that he caused so much harm with this picture nobody knew existed until today.
Yeah.
I'm not, given the sort of rabidness of Southern politics, I'm actually kind of surprised this didn't come out earlier. I mean, just simple opposition research would have found this.
They've kept it buried for a reason.
Yeah.
That Northam is the one. He came out in favor of the whole trans bill, not transsexual, the bill pushed by Kathy Tran to have really, really late term abortions.
Oh, right.
I think somebody's vying for his spot. They were like, oh, now we got him.
That's so funny. And just in case you guys didn't know, now in 2019, whenever something could have caused pain back then, it stores that pain and it accumulates over time. And when people find out about it, they are attacked with all that stored up pain that they would have felt for it then.
Indeed.
At once now. And that's why it's so potent.
Satsu?
Yes.
Did this make you cry today?
It did. But not.
You should write him and ask him for money.
I'm glad they didn't hear that second part.
I didn't hear what you said.
Good, because it was not.
I think. Did you say something about crying from somewhere other than your eyes?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I figured, but I'm not going to say it. Anyway, so that happened. So let's take bets. How soon does he resign? I'm gonna go to the absolute extreme reaction to this. How soon does he resign amid calls from his colleagues and fellow governors and other politicians that he needs to step down?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Think tomorrow? Okay. So
if he lasts the night.
Oh, okay. Well then, guys, we'll keep an eye on the news. Who knows what will happen in the next couple hours. So we have a general prediction that at least 24 hours, if not less.
I want to address something about this before we move on. I've seen several people on on Twitter say something. I'm actually reading a tweet with this. I've seen several like this. Oh no, nobody gets to write this off after what they did to Kavanaugh. Have some fucking principles. If a Republican had done this and you would just blow it all off as that's, no big deal, it was a kid when they were in college doing stupid shit, then you got to do the same thing here. Just because he's your fucking ideological opponent doesn't mean you get to stop having fucking principles. I'm so sick of this shit.
It's true. It's true. I don't endorse him having to resign. I don't endorse him having to, get down on bended knee and ask for forgiveness for something he did when he was a college student and an idiot. If no one is allowed to make a horrible mistake in their youth and have to pay for it for the rest of their lives, short of like manslaughter, I don't know how this world's going to operate. Thank you, Cryptic. He's Democrat. They'll cover for him. Of course they will.
Not for this. You
don't think so?
There's a bridge too far.
Okay.
Now, in my view, if they showed a picture of him from last week at a Klan rally wearing a Klan outfit, fine, drum his ass right out.
Sure.
This was 30 years ago. It was obviously at some college party. It's not like that's how they dressed up on the fucking weekend.
Right.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be brave enough to defend him on that side who are really part of that base, because they'll take anybody down with him. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants to sink with that ship.
So watch out for Republicans who defended Kavanaugh, who condemn this guy. And you can rightly put their quotes side by side and say hypocrite. And look for anybody on the Democratic side who tries to downplay the racism of it, if they do, and then put them side by side with anything Trump has said. I mean, like I say, I don't think the guy needs to resign. I don't think he has anything really to apologize for, except to say, I was a dumb kid, and we all do stupid things when we're young. We shouldn't be held to account for everything we do that doesn't hurt anybody. Oh, but this hurt people. No, it didn't. Nobody was hurt by this.
It was 30 years ago. It was a different time.
Yeah, and nobody knew about this until today. So no one was being harmed up to the point where he became governor, and they won't be harmed by this knowledge after he's governor. So who cares? Anyway, moving on from that, but tangentially related, because of the abortion thing, the Supreme Court has blocked the Louisiana abortion law from taking effect on Monday. Justice Samuel Alito, late Friday, temporarily blocked a Louisiana abortion law from going into effect as scheduled on Monday. Alito said in a brief order that the justices needed more time to review the filings in the case. As such, he would put the law on hold until February 7th. He noted that the order, quote, does not reflect any view regarding the merits of the case. Louisiana's Unsafe Abortion Protection Act has been blocked since its enactment in 2014. It requires a doctor to have admitting privileges at a hospital within 30 miles of the facility where the abortion is performed. The state argues that the law is necessary to provide a higher level of physician competence, but critics say there is no medical justification for the law, and it amounts to a veiled attempt to unlawfully restrict abortion. In 2017, Judge John DeGravels of the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Louisiana, an Obama appointee, struck down the law, saying it would severely limit the number of providers able to perform abortions, result in the closure of clinics, and, quote, place added stress, unquote, on remaining facilities. About 10,000 women a year seek abortions in the state, and the challengers had shown that if the law were to go into effect, only one physician would be able to provide abortions in the state. Quote, even working in an implausible 7-day week, it would be impossible for him to expand his practice to meet even half the state's needs for abortion services, the judge wrote. Louisiana appealed the case to the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which had previously upheld a similar Texas law the Supreme Court subsequently reversed. And thank you, Jenna P. Mom said thank you, and it was the first time a monkey, coins, and a painting sang to her. It was a bit weird, but fun. Well, the coins didn't really sing. He just kind of commented. But either way, it's part of the song now.
I did it majestically, so it kind of counts as a song.
There you go. And thank you, Prospero. Do you actually think a medical school student on the cusp of graduating, a kid that's 25 to 26 years of age, for pity's sake, not a high schooler?
At my age, 25, 26 is a kid. We've often argued about the fact that the brain is not completely functioning or formed until about 25, 26. So,
yeah, it seems to be my experience that it doesn't forgive horrible things or anything, but as far as making short-sighted decisions, and it's also 30 years ago. Anyway. No one was harmed. It was effectively a prank, and it's no different than James Gunn making jokes on Twitter or Roseanne making jokes on Twitter and then being held to account as though somehow they've done some horrible crime or something. It's just bullshit.
And if your only objection is that we called him a kid, fine. He was a young adult.
Yeah. So anyway, the abortion law has been put on hold. Now I don't know if them ruling on this would then also affect. I assume it would affect other laws, because there have been several states that have tried to do something like this, which is to say that if you're going to perform abortions, you have to have admitting privileges at all these other places or whatever. And admitting privileges are like these, it's like this bureaucratic move you have to have, and most hospitals won't, like hospitals of conscience or something, won't provide them to doctors that aren't part of the hospital or whatever. So you're effectively putting a block, an end run around the constitutional right to choose.
Mhm.
So I don't know how they're going to rule on this, but whatever they end up doing, it'll be interesting.
I do think it's weird that abortion is the only time where we're like, no, doctors don't have to actually act like doctors. You can't do that with like a just set up your own surgery ward in the middle of fucking nowhere. Now, I don't know how their laws work for all other doctors, but I mean, I don't see where that's the big problem. I really don't.
Yeah, I'll admit I'm not as well versed on medical laws as I would be if I were more well versed on medical laws. So maybe somebody else knows.
From the reading of that, they only have one hospital in Louisiana.
No, by the standards the law would impose, there's only one doctor who would qualify to perform abortions.
All right.
Let's see. So, two sort of side stories that aren't like headline stories. I'll make sure that nothing is broken in the last 10, 15 minutes or something. Nope, still the governor. I saw this today, and I wanted to read this because it talks about Booker and Kamala Harris. But it's really the summary, or the conclusion of this little article that caught my attention. So I'm going to read it. You guys tell me what you think. And this is by Nia Malika Henderson, a name that I recognize for some reason, but I don't know why.
Me too. That sounds very familiar.
Obama's reluctance on race gives way to roars from Booker and Harris.
What?
I don't know what that means exactly. Cory Booker and Kamala Harris kicked off their 2020 campaigns like no other black presidential candidates ever have, including the only one who has won. Perhaps that's a privilege only they have, afforded only after 8 years of the first black U.S. president. There is a hilarious Key and Peele skit that sums up how President Barack Obama sometimes navigated his blackness. Going through a receiving line of blacks and whites, he greets the whites with a stiff, "How are you? Nice to see you." With the blacks, he is all hugs and hand pounds, his black scent on fleek. Black scent. Okay. The point, Obama's blackness was situational, reserved for black people who keenly understood that code switching and both-siderism on matters of racism were the only path for the first black president.
Bullshit.
As they vie to become the second black president, Booker and Harris are making a different calculation. Booker strolls through Newark backed by a drum line he announced on the first day of Black History Month. His tagline, "We Rise Up," borrows from one of Maya Angelou's most famous poems. Harris launched in Oakland, where she grew up, and the Black Panther Party was founded. Oh, that's an association I'd love to have as a politician. She announced on Martin Luther King Day, I don't know what this word is. She ski-weed, SKEE-WEED. She ski-weed with her sorors in South Carolina. SORORS. Sorors?
Is that sorority?
Maybe sorority sisters or something. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Excuse me, I speak jive. Yeah. I was just watching something on Airplane earlier today. It's kind of funny. Ski-weed. What is ski-weed? This is slang I'm not aware of.
Don't ask me.
If anybody in the chat knows what ski-weed is, let me know. And nodded to Shirley Chisholm in her logo. I haven't seen the logo, so I don't know what that has to do with anything. Obama announced in Springfield and nodded to Lincoln and the less radical version of King. What? Okay, he praised Ronald Reagan. He had to give a race speech to distance himself from a black pastor who preached. What was he preaching, by the way? That's a black pastor who preached, period. I'm like, well, what was that guy saying that he distanced himself from? Any thoughts on that? No?
No, that's unimportant.
Obama ran as a racial healer He did? Did he?
A racial healer? No.
Yeah, he hope and change.
Whoa.
Like I'm better. I'm a better option for the country after George W. Bush. Thank you, Point Curation. Gamers rise up. Bottom text.
Well, he was pushing the whole togetherness thing, and that's why they're like people getting along and understanding each other. And modern day activists are not about that. It's about domination, control, and gaining power. Like it's not that togetherness and figuring people out shit. That's over with. Like we're not trying to get along anymore. We're trying to replace.
Yeah, he did repeatedly say he was a uniter, not a divider, but that was more about politics.
Yeah, that was more ideologies and the rifts between the parties, essentially. But
yeah,
Obama ran as a racial healer without acknowledging racial pain. Okay, in his first 2 years in office, he mentioned race less in speeches than any other Democratic president since 1961, according to political scientist Daniel Q. Gillian.
And he won the presidency for 2 years for that reason.
Oh, two terms. In front of black audiences, he became the scold, pointing to what he saw as pathologies in black behavior, urging black boys to pull up their pants as if this would mean they would be treated better.
No, oh God.
I think it was a euphemism for, never mind. He would studiously say, wait, what? He would studiously say, comma, he wasn't the president of Black America. There shouldn't be a comma there. He was the president of all America. But guess what? None of this prevented the birther lies or the racial animosity he and his family faced. Tell me a president that's never been hate mobbed by somebody for whatever reason. The outrage that came when rappers, oh no, not rappers, parentheses, were invited to the White House, or when he wanted to offer a back-to-school message for kids. For some, his skin color automatically made him illegitimate, and no amount of skirting race and blackness could counter that. Well, tell me about the inherent things about Trump that make him illegitimate to people.
Well, like I said before, and I keep saying this because it keeps coming up, that the goal is changed. Like it's different now. They don't want to get along. It's about power and domination. They're like, fuck all that bullshit. We have an invested interest in keeping the divide going because it benefits us, and we want it.
Thank you, Cryptic. Bullshit. Obama was a race-baiting shithead. Maybe I missed those speeches. I never really saw him as trying to be a race baiter. I think he was
quite a bit. Like, and that's why I'm really confused as to what they're talking about, because the being black in America thing, I've heard that several times in lots of different speeches from him. So
he didn't do it as much as his subordinates did it, and he let it happen.
Yeah, I think
he did it. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah. So Harris and Booker aren't even trying it. They are saying the word racism, acknowledging that it is ever present and must be confronted. Neither seem worried about being the quote-unquote scary black man or the quote-unquote angry black woman stereotypes that the Obamas dealt and dispensed with. They will still be called those things, trust me, by somebody. This is progress and couldn't have happened without the Obamas. Okay, now here's the conclusion that got me. Still, with Booker and Harris, there is a lingering and uncomfortable question that many black Americans will have amongst themselves. Could Booker, if he looked like Kazim Reed, have been able to navigate the white political power structure as successfully? Same for Harris if she looked like Stacey Abrams. There is certainly more space for symbolic displays of black culture in a political context that so often pathologizes black culture. This is a good thing. But there is a seeming demand that black people seeking power and entering into the homes of white America must look a certain way. Getting past that color line will take far more work. So Booker and Harris aren't black enough to be running for office, or
they're going to come out looking like Lil Wayne.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. The pastor he distanced himself from was Jeremiah Wright, the goddamn America. Yeah, I remember the goddamn America. Yeah, it was politically expedient for him to distance himself from a pastor that was sounding like a nut job. That's all.
It's this narrative is very interesting to me because these are the people who have a stereotypical archetype of what Black people are supposed to look like in the way that they are supposed to act. Like these are Black people. They are not Black enough because they don't act like, you know, what we perceive Black people should be. So we're wondering if they would be received by the community better if they looked more like what we think Black people are supposed to be. We're not the racists, by the way.
Well, she's specifically saying their skin is too light is the problem because they don't look Black. Their skin color is not dark enough to qualify as actual Black people. And that's why they're, I don't know, digestible by the white political electorate or something, I guess. Like if Cory Booker looked like Kevin Hart, somehow we wouldn't be for him or be willing to listen to what he has to say, I guess.
That is fascinating.
Thank you, Cryptic. Obama condemns James Crowley over skin color. What? I don't know who's James Crowley.
I have no idea.
Jenna P. Thanks, Obama. My kids get told they don't belong. Really?
I do want to address something that was said early in the article. Early in the article, they mentioned how when Obama was around Black people, he talked different.
Mm-hmm.
Satsu, do you remember when you and me had a discussion with viewers about how my talking changes? Like when you and me are just on a game playing together, and how I sometimes might go a little street.
Yeah.
It has nothing to, it's not because, hey, I'm hanging out with a Black dude. I'm hanging out with a Black dude right now. It's just a more casual setting, and I tend to go more to my natural speech.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's so weird because you have to already have these preset notions in your mind of what Black people are supposed to act and talk like for you to even make that comparison. Like, oh, he talks Black when he's in this situation, and then he talks white, and it's like, well, y'all were the ones who put forth the notion that there's no such thing as talking Black or talking white, and that is racist to make those type of comparisons and observations. And little Black kids are constantly plagued with that, you know, that shit. But it seems like the only people I ever hear that from is you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cryptic. Fuck that racist bastard. I'm assuming you're talking about Obama. I don't know if he was I never got the sense that he was a racist. I heard that you know, Glenn Beck making those kind of charges and things, but I never had any notion that he was a racist.
Again, my criticism of Obama in that area is that he let his subordinates push that there was this horrible racism. Literally any criticism of the man, it was because you were racist, not because you disliked his policies.
Right.
And he would just let that hang out there instead of being a man coming up and go, no, stop it. They can dislike my policies. Let's disagree, or let's have the actual conversation rather than you guys just boiling it down to they don't like the Black man. And that's where, I mean, is he racist? Not that I ever saw, but he certainly did not help race relations.
Sure.
And that's different.
Now, I know we're already into MSS news time, but I'll go a little long on that. There's one more thing I wanted to bring up, a story I saw, mainly because it involves a company that I've come across many, many, many times in doing my videos, and that's McKinsey & Company. Now, if you know McKinsey & Company, they're a sort of like a advertising firm, and they would do a bunch of polling and research and market research and stuff like that. More often than not, when I'm watching a video talking about diversity and the advantages of diversity in business, or the advantages of promoting women over men in business, etc., almost always they're quoting a McKinsey study that says XYZ. So this story came out today. I'm only going to read a little bit of it because I know we're already over time. McKinsey advised Purdue Pharma how to turbocharge opioid sales. The world's most prestigious management consulting firm, McKinsey & Company, has been drawn into a national reckoning over who bears responsibility for the opioid crisis that has devastated families and communities across America. In legal papers released in unredacted form on Thursday, the Massachusetts Attorney General said McKinsey had helped the maker of OxyContin fan the flames of the opioid epidemic. McKinsey's consultants, the Attorney General revealed, had instructed the drug company, Purdue Pharma, on how to turbocharge sales of OxyContin, how to counter efforts by drug enforcement agents to reduce opioid use, and were part of a team that looked at how, quote, to counter the emotional messages from mothers with teenagers that overdosed on the drug. Yeah, I know, ad executives and consulting firms, generally your client is your client and you have to be heartless for your client, etc. I just find that a little, slimy. Thank you, Snubber. Nearly every mixed person I see on social media identify or pride more towards their darker color. They value it too much. Was the word value a joke there? Because I learned from my ex-girlfriend who was an artist that, if you say shading, a real artist will smack you because the actual term is value, not shading. If that wasn't intentional, I just made it intentional. Thank you, Cryptic. James Crowley arrests Henry Gates. Oh, right. The Harvard thing, yeah, but was accused of racism by Gates of being a racist. Obama sided with Gates before the facts came out. Obama made a lot of snap decisions that, on reflection, were not quite smart.
He also fired that one chick from
Shirley Sherrod.
Yeah, Shirley Sherrod, because it sounded like she was being racist against whites.
Yeah. Obama had a habit of just knee-jerk reactions to lots of things, regardless of who it was, if it seemed like it was the appropriate and politic thing to do at the time. Shirley Sherrod, Gates. I'm not forgiving him this, but he wasn't doing it just on the defense of black people. Shirley Sherrod was essentially edited into seeming like she was being racist against white people, and she was fired over the phone as she was driving to her job or something. Yeah. And then when they figured out what was going on, he offered her a job back, and she's like, no. Thank you, Connor Johnson. Have any of you seen the movie Taxi Driver? I just saw it for the first time today, and I objectively think it's one of Martin Scorsese's best films. I have seen Taxi Driver. It's a classic.
I've never seen it.
I think the music is a little dated, but of course, what are you going to do? It's a movie of its time. I don't know if it's Scorsese's best. Goodfellas, man. Goodfellas.
Before we move off the news, Ralph Northam did put a video out on Twitter at 8:35.
Okay.
And just a few moments ago, Chris Cillizza came out and said, this won't be enough, I don't think.
Yeah, well, I'm with you guys. I don't think he lasts into Saturday, let alone maybe tonight, but I guess we'll find out.
Blood's in the water, dude.
And when Chris Cillizza says it's over, oh man, the fat lady has sung. Anyway, let's see. Guys, it is now time for MSS News. If you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but that's just because you guys send us so many. And I took too much time to talk about the news. So there you go. It's my fault. It's your fault. We're all guilty together. Let's see. This one comes from Judge Death. Judge Death. New Democratic presidential candidate calls for spiritual awakening in the U.S. We have another presidential candidate. Oh, boy. Author and Democratic presidential hopeful Marianne Williamson, I have no idea who that is, said in an interview Thursday she is running for the White House because America needs a moral and spiritual awakening. We need a moral and spiritual awakening in this country, Williamson, who launched her campaign Monday in Los Angeles, said on CNN. Nothing short of that is adequate to fundamentally change the patterns of our political dysfunction. Williamson is the best-selling author and spiritual counselor to Oprah Winfrey.
Oh.
She said in the interview Thursday that her career had prepared her to tackle the country's, quote, deeper levels of moral dysfunction. Quote, I have had a 35-year career in naming and transforming those dynamics, she said, That's my qualification for the presidency. Yeah, no. I predict you lose. Let's see. This one comes from Frosted Glass.
I just realized I was muted.
Yeah, I was wondering. You guys are awfully quiet. I was like, well, okay.
They said she was a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting.
She ain't gonna win.
A spiritual Democrat? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey's personal spiritual advisor. Yeah, you might as well have Dr. Phil running for president.
He could probably win.
He might, Dr. Phil might have a shot. Let's see. This is a Think Progress article. The weaponization of, quote, learn to code, unquote.
You mean the thing that you guys started? Yeah, let's hear about the thing you started.
Inspired by Trump's rants about, quote, the enemy of the people, unquote, far-right trolls aim their memes at newly unemployed reporters.
Really? That's interesting.
Most of the tweets said learn to code, or a variation on the theme, a phrase that, like plenty of once innocent terms of art, has come to carry a sinister second-order significance. And some of the tweets were death threats. Okay. The tweet started flooding Laura Bassett's replies as soon as she tweeted about impending layoffs at HuffPost, where she'd been a reporter for 8 years. When she announced that she was one of the employees HuffPost was letting go in a week that would see 1,000 journalists lose their jobs nationwide as layoffs coursed through the HuffPost, BuzzFeed, and Gannett, and largest newspaper chain in the country, the, quote, learn to code replies poured in at an ever greater volume. That was all one sentence, guys. That entire thing was one sentence. In a twist that will surprise no one who spends a decent amount of time online, laced throughout the learn to code messages were far-right flavored death threats. Quote, the day of the rope is coming, unquote, read one, and another, the rope is waiting for you, unquote. The rope? What's
to
that?
Hang him.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought maybe it was like code for something else or some other meme thing. I don't know all the jive talk these days.
Code Scribe?
I don't know.
Scribe needs to learn to code.
I know.
Or at least read it.
Oh, here we go. Learn to code is a linguistic dog whistle.
The fuck it is.
To the uninitiated, it makes absolutely no sense. To the target, it registers with perfect and cruel specificity. And to the harasser, it comes with built-in plausible deniability. Its origins are in an overblown and willfully misremembered spate of news stories about a man named Rusty Justice teaching web development to out-of-work coal miners in Kentucky? No? What? What? Rusty Justice? Yes, that's his real name. No, the learn to code. Satsu, where did the learn to code thing come from?
Which I'm trying to remember specifically what incident it was. God damn it, Monkey, do you remember exactly what that situation was?
It was coal miners. It was because coal miners were losing their fucking jobs, thanks to environmentalism, and newspaper people were pushing on them. You guys just need to learn to code.
Right.
You coal miners need to learn to code.
I hadn't heard Rusty Justice before.
Yeah, it wasn't just this one dude. Fuck off.
Let's see. Moving on. This one comes from Peter Silac Hades 313. I think I saw this the other day. St. Louis police officer killed by fellow cop died during a game of Russian roulette.
Okay.
That was unwise. A St. Louis police officer has been charged in connection with the death of an off-duty colleague who investigators allege died during a game of Russian roulette. Nathaniel R. Hendren, 29, is charged with first-degree involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action in the shooting death of Caitlin Alex, 24, who was killed just before 1 a.m. Thursday. Police officials later that day described the shooting as an accidental incident that took place when Hendren, quote, mishandled a gun and shot Alex in the chest, unquote. Quote, she always told me, Mom, if I die, I'm doing something I love to do. Alex's mother, Amy Chadwick, told the news. So it made me feel a little better, but this does not make me feel better. Yeah. Russian roulette doesn't say anything else about it. The defendant emptied the cylinder of the revolver and then put one cartridge back in the cylinder. He spun the cylinder and pointed it away and pulled the trigger. The gun did not fire at this point. Alex took the gun and pointed it at Hendren and pulled the trigger. But again, the gun did not fire. Alex was not so lucky when Hendren took the revolver and pointed it at her chest. Yeah. Why would you do that?
It's almost like people die playing Russian roulette.
Oh my God, how stupid! And your police officers trained in how to handle firearms. I mean, why, morons?
Okay, yeah, Jack. Sorry, Scribe. That's the thing I remember. The BuzzFeed News made a quiz specifying professions that should learn to code in 2014. I remember seeing something like that from one of these outlets. I can't remember if it was like BuzzFeed or whatever. But I remember that was a thing back then. I don't remember how big it was, but it was like a very small, short kind of meme that was going around for a while.
Let's see. Okay, so sort of a side update. The NAACP has officially called on Northam to resign.
Huh.
So there's that. Do we want a Jesse Smollett update?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's really worth going into, but he just came out and said, I told the truth, basically. Jesse Smollett defends his account of alleged hate attack as 100% factual. Let's see. I am working with authorities and have been 100% factual and consistent on every level, he said in a statement. Despite my frustrations and deep concern with certain inaccuracies and misrepresentations that have been spread, I still believe that justice will be served. What inaccuracies?
Well, he said him and his family, when his family made a statement too, they said that he has been consistent and his story has been the same no matter who he's talked to with this. But I'm like, no, because the police have no record at all of you telling them about this is MAGA country comment or whatever. Like, the police don't have a record of that at all. Like, when it was brought up to the police after TMZ wrote that article, they're like, yeah, he didn't report that to us.
Let's see. This one comes from Snubberth. Vice Media to reorganize and lay off 10% of its staff.
Aw.
Yeah, boy, it's coming in droves. In HuffPost, BuzzFeed, now this.
Maybe they should learn how to code.
Oh,
right.
The cuts, which will impact around 250 people, are part of new CEO Nancy Dubuck's strategic plan to tighten spending and achieve profitability. Vice Media is planning a reorganization that will include laying off about 10% of its workforce as the once high-flying startup looks to rein in has a hyphen there, an unwieldy business that grew quickly during the height of the digital boom. Around 250 jobs are expected to be cut, a company spokeswoman tells The Hollywood Reporter, as the 2,500-person Vice reduces redundancies internationally and reorients to focus on growth areas like film and television production and branded content. All departments at every level are expected to have layoffs, from IT to finance to television.
But you can bet your ass it's going to be mostly POC and LGBT.
Well, that's what I said when I saw the article. I was like, well, they better lay off the right people.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to lay off the wrong people. Let's see. This one comes from Peter Stewart. Dalhousie University. Do you guys know about Dalhousie University?
Mm-mm.
No.
There's a great video by Mr. Medicare, one of the earliest ones he did for his new channel when he started it up, called Hallowed Halls. It was supposed to be a series about colleges and things like that. I think it's the only one he ever did for that series. But I won't say anything more about it. Look it up. It's really interesting and a really great video by Mr. Medicare. But anyway, this story. Dalhousie's interim president stirs controversy with book on campus dissent. Okay. Dalhousie University's interim president has written a new book on campus debate and dissent, and it has provoked both. And it has provoked both at the Halifax School. Oh, a debate, with some students calling for his dismissal. Peter McKinnon, former president of the University of Saskatchewan, took over the helm of Dalhousie in January as it searches for a new top administrator. But his appointment has proven controversial, after a group of students protested at his welcome reception, issuing a strong rebuke against his recent book, quote, University Commons Divided, Exploring Debate and Dissent on Campus. The students say the book expresses, quote, racist perspectives and, quote, oppressive rhetoric on topics such as blackface, and have issued a list of demands, including his immediate removal as interim president. What exactly did the book say? Is it going to tell me? In his book, McKinnon discusses contentious topics like blackface, Halloween costumes, Dalhousie's dentistry faculty scandal, that was the, I think, part of the Medicare video, Truth and Reconciliation Commission recommendations, and University of Toronto professor Jordan Peterson's views on gender pronouns. McKinnon acknowledges that some of the issues explored in his book have touched a nerve and caused distress. Is he going to? Let's see. The passage in McKinnon's book that appears to have garnered the greatest backlash refers to costume parties involving white students in blackface. The incident sparked outrage on campus, but McKinnon suggests in his book that there was, quote, a lack of proportion in the responses. These were Halloween parties, not cultural misappropriations, Nazi mimicry, or manifestations of disapproval of other peoples. So describing them risks diminishing real problems of intolerance, discrimination, and racism. So describing them? So, okay, maybe that's probably in context. Anyway, another college protest like, you have to resign because we don't like what you said.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the extent of it, because if you ask them, what did he say? The things we don't like, then that's pretty much all you need to know.
Let's see. We'll get in one more here before we call it for now. Let's see. We talked about that one the other day, the Taco Bell being smashed into the wife's face. Okay, how about this one? This one comes from Princess Unicorn Nipples. Pasco stripper gets into fight, strips meter off wall at gentleman's club. Okay, I'm going to share the link to this because the picture of this stripper, I wouldn't pay money to see that. New Port Richey, Florida. A stripper in Pasco County was arrested after getting into a fight with another stripper and ripping a power meter off a building. The fury started at the Desire Gentlemen's Club on Grand Boulevard in Newport Richey at about 9 p.m. Thursday. Deputies said Christy Caratini Mendoza, 37, punched the other woman several times in the face, knocked her down, and kicked her while she was on the floor. After the fight, deputies said Caratini Mendoza took a Progress Energy electric power meter from the wall of the Gentlemen's Club and hid it. She later admitted taking it. They searched her bag and found the meter tag tangled in her wig. She was charged with battery and grand theft. She was taken to the Lando Lakes Detention Center. Just ripped the power meter off the wall and just like stole it after beating up another stripper. Okay, Florida, yay!
If you look at her, you'll instantly see why they often have the lights turned down at strip clubs.
Yeah.
There's a reason they don't let you see them real well, guys.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. A face not even a mother would love. Oh, I don't know. Mothers are very forgiving. But probably not. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. All right, guys, on to YouTube time. I'll go first. I didn't do anything. Satsu, how about you?
Me neither. Hey.
Monkey, how about you?
I did a monkey in the morning.
How was that? Who was on your show?
It was me, Jack, and Dax. I think Bear stopped by for a little bit. I can't remember. You know my memory. No, it was a good show.
Bear is forgettable, so it's okay.
Weebo came by for a little bit too.
Oh, the Weebo.
And we went over an article. My best recollection of what we did. We went over an article of celebrity approved Valentine's lingerie.
Celebrity approved. Which celebrities?
Well, there were people in there like Cardi B and Ariana Grande, and of course the Kardashians were in there. As I went through it, there's only one piece of it that looked like Valentine's lingerie. Most of it was just bras. There was a robe in there. There was a nightie, and then there was one outfit in yellow that was like, damn, yeah, I would like to see Lady Monkey in that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just really expensive bras that weren't even like interesting.
One of the one of my favorite things to do, and with my at least my last relationship and a couple others, was to take her to Victoria's Secret and buy her underwear and have her try it on for me there at the store.
That's so funny. There was like this big thing for a while about like the barrier, the invisible barrier in front of Victoria's Secret stores that won't let men in. Or at least they seem like that, because like you'd see people, they had this clip of like a whole bunch of dudes in the mall with their girl, and they would be holding hands like right into the barrier, and as soon as she walks in, he just lets go of her hand and she goes in. He just stands out there. They're like, what the fuck is this invisible wall?
Now, if my lady is going to be buying fancy underwear, I want to be there to help pick it out.
Well, I put the article in the chat there. Now, I'm not saying it's not lingerie or that women can't wear. It's just for Valentine's Day, aren't you looking for something like really sexy to get in there?
Well, yeah, you want something that's disposable.
Most of these are just weird bras. Stop wearing weird bras, women.
You know what comes to mind? Remember that gag that Payless pulled not too long ago, where they set up a boutique shoe shop, and then put in their own shoes that normally cost like $5 a pop, and then
I would pay $200 for these.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is an amazing shoe. I would gladly pay $500 for this. And then it's like, yeah, you can buy it for $14.99 at Payless. What? Yeah. For function over form most of the time. And don't get me wrong, a interesting or intricate piece of lingerie can always be fun, but guys don't need that much unless you're doing some complicated bondage stuff. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, like I said, these are just bras, and I felt lied to by that article.
Oh no.
I was hoping to see slutty shit, and there's only one.
Oh, slutty stuff.
Go to it, Scribe, and there's only 15 of them. Click through them real quick and be like, you'll be like, this ain't fucking sexy.
Let's see. That looks like something you'd wear at the gym a little bit. Okay, the heart one.
That one's okay.
The heart one showing the backside. That's okay. The robe is a robe. The frilly bra thing. Yeah, it looks like something Madonna would wear on stage. The pink frilly thing, well, I can't really see her in it, so I don't know. The leopard skin thing I just like because it's that's tacky, but kind of a cool tacky, but it's like a little corset.
No, see,
half corset, so it's a bustier. So
for me, the leopard print killed it for me, because I still maintain that leopard print is white trash camouflage.
Oh, I have leopard print sheets.
You white trash?
No. My sister bought them for me as a joke a couple of years ago, but they're like fleece and super warm, so they're good.
But you're not running around wearing it.
No, I don't wear the sheets on my bed. I just have leopard print fleece sheets. That's all. Anyway, the next thing it just looks like regular, like a camisole nightie kind of thing. Whatever. The next bra with straps. It's aesthetically interesting, kind of, but it's just a bra. The next yellow thing. Okay, now that's one something else. That's something else. The one after that. Okay, the fact that she's wearing that outfit with it completely takes it away from me thinking it's lingerie.
Yeah.
The next thing it's a bra. The next thing can
barely tell what it is.
Yeah, it's either a bra or a top or both. I don't know. Next thing,
I like those panties. I'm not gonna lie.
they're kind of see-through, and they look good on her just because she's not wearing much else. But they look like cheesecloth. They look like cheesecloth.
Cheesecloth.
I do. Next, they're it's lingerie.
It's all right.
The next one is just, except for the straps, which is just pointless. It's a bra.
By the way, Weibo Jones owns that bra.
Oh, the sparkly shoulder pad one?
Yep.
Thank you, Dark Shade. Lingerie is just expensive wrapping paper to me. Yeah,
it is.
Kind of, sort of. Especially if you're going to rip it off, which is always fun. That's why you don't want to pay too much for it. Anyway, fucketry time. Oh boy, did you guys hear about Ian Miles Chong?
Oh God, yes.
That motherfucker.
Okay.
That's a dirty bitch.
I just watched a Dame Pesos put out a hour-long supercut telling the entire saga of the Andy Worski Tonka Saw fight thing, all the way from its origins through to the actual event, so to speak, or the non-event. And then immediately after I watched that video, I saw the tweet that's saying from, I think it was Keemstar or Ralph Retort or something, where they were showing audio clips of Ian Miles Chong admitting, seemingly, that he had swatted Andy Worski. And then I saw the tweet from Andy Worski saying, I just talked to detectives that came to my house. And then a video from Andy Worski saying, yeah, I just went down to the police station to file a report. He tried to kill me. And then Ian Miles Chong tweeting out something that seemed to both admit to and defend his actions in trying to swat Andy Worski.
Yes.
What the fuck? So I don't know anything about Andy Worski's relationship with Ian Miles Chong. I don't know what their relationship was prior to this. I still don't quite understand the whole, like, he stole money from him thing. I'm sure.
All right, let me break it down.
There's going to be a supercut eventually, but if you guys know better, by all means.
Andy and Ian were friends, and they worked on a channel together called Hype Break, which Andy owned, but they both had access to, and was actually run by an MCN. For those of you who don't know, an MCN, multi-channel network, they're these conglomerates that have all these people sign up to them, and when YouTube sends you your money each month, it goes to them, and then they cut you a check, usually the following month, for your percentage of it.
Right.
MCNs will take anywhere from 10, 20, up to 40% of your money doing this. And there's various reasons people use them. I'm not going to get into that. But Andy and Ian had a falling out because of a back and forth between Failure and Vamp Candy. Vamp Candy being Tonka's girlfriend-ish.
Okay.
To prove that he wasn't an asshole, Failure went on Andy's stream and was sharing DMs of a conversation between him and Vamp. And there was one line in there where Vamp Candy on, I think it was the 4th of January, said, I wonder how long it'll take Andy to realize me and Ian are still friends. And this made Andy lose his fucking mind, because he's like, all of this stuff that they shouldn't know, they're finding out about me. And he just said, okay, Ian must have been the one to do it. Well, at this time, Andy was in the process of selling Hype Break to Ian.
Okay.
And Andy decides, I'm not going to sell it to him. Well, before he can do anything about that, Ian gets a hold of the MCN and has them just transfer ownership back to him. Now, Ian is claiming that Andy's saying, look, I haven't gotten any money. He was expecting a check a couple days ago. It's like, I didn't get any money. And Ian is saying, well, the MCN hasn't sent it out. You get your money, 2 months later, blah, blah, blah. But Andy still hasn't seen his money from it. And Ian is claiming that it's not his fault.
Okay.
Andy starts to make videos about Ian. He made the first one where he's calling him a snake, saying that Ian shared all of this information with Vamp. And then he made the second one about how Ian was, I think the second one was Ian stealing the channel. And this leads to the audio that was released today. The audio that, Ian Miles Chong saying that he called that Andy made a video on him, and that forced his hand to call the police and tell them that Andy had guns
Yes.
that he was an alt-righter, and that he had a shitload of coke at his house.
And it was like schizophrenic or something, or like crazy or whatever.
Yeah, that's the second audio portion that came out.
Right. Okay.
Because in the first one, he just makes it kind of, I called the police because, because Andy's breaking the law here. Well, in the second one, he actually admits that he told him that, Andy's a danger, but he wasn't swatting him, man. He didn't think telling the police that this guy has illegal guns, that he's unstable, that he's paranoid, and that the police should be very careful would make them swat him.
Yeah.
You fucking douche.
Nobody's dumb enough to believe that shit, especially considering the fact that you have had that information all this time.
Yep.
All this time, you've had this information. You didn't feel it's necessary to call the police, but now all of a sudden, you're just like, get the fuck out of here. Stop it.
Yeah, he literally says in that thing, he did it because Andy made a video about him. Peter says, he said Andy was going to go on a shooting spree. That has been a rumor. I have not actually heard that anywhere in like the audio, unless a third one has been released. I haven't heard that. I believe that Andy says that when Andy first got the visit from the police, he made a video saying they just left and they'd come to his house and said that that they'd been told he had guns and was planning on killing people. But sorry, that's hearsay at this point. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but that's not something Ian has admitted to in the audio releases we've heard so far. It's bad enough what we heard in the release so far. I mean, telling somebody that there's a paranoid, coked up dude with illegal guns who's a danger to you if you go knock on his door, that's good enough. That's swatting. You might not have gotten a SWAT response, but that's what you were trying for. Don't fucking lie.
Yeah, and I saw the video where Andy was saying, like, thank God I was in Canada. If this was America, I might be dead right now. I was like,
it's true.
He's not wrong, especially after what happened down, was it Kansas or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm sure there will be more to come on this story if we decide to, follow it or whatever. But just one more amazing adventure in the life of Andy Worski.
I'll be following it. I will.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I woke up this morning and I saw that, I was like, oh, it's interesting again. It's interesting because there's been rumors, that Ian was the one who called on Andy, but you can't prove that.
Right.
Unless you can get a recording of the call that came in or somehow trace the line backwards, you can never prove who actually did it. But in this case, Ian has come out and said, I did this. Ian, when my first question when I saw this was like, okay, Ian, is this real? Who the fuck were you talking to that released that? I want to know who he was talking to that recorded this shit. Because that dude won. Good on you, because swatting is doxing is a dick move. Swatting is fucking criminal. You're trying to get somebody killed, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Because he made a video about me.
Any other fuckatry today to discuss?
My stalker was back, and this time she brought a friend.
Oh, so it's a threesome now.
You would think after the, 500 time I've made a dick joke to him in response to whatever they say, they would get the point. But they just don't get it. She was on Andy's show tonight. Oh, the girl that he was talking to? Nut says she was on Andy's show. I didn't get to watch Andy's show. I woke up this morning and I played around on the Twitter, watched a little bit of YouTube, and I just went and laid down. And I didn't get back up until like 7:30, I think it was. So his show was already like 2 hours in. So yeah, I'll have to watch that too. Joe Rogan has Jack Dorsey on, so I'm gonna have to watch that as well. I have so much to watch, dude. The drama stuff will take precedent because it's funny. And real quick before we get off Ian, he's now also claiming that he's a victim here.
Oh, okay.
He put up a tweet. Let me see if I can find that, where he's gotten He said, I've gotten nothing but death threats for a couple days because of Andy. Where's this at? Oh, I don't have the direct one. But he shows it. Here's one example, and it's a guy saying, I hope you get killed by the Malaysian police on stream. That's not a death threat. It's dickish. It's a death wish, but that is not a death threat, you dick. Stop playing. You were wrong. There is no defense, dick.
Yeah, and like I said, this is one of those reasons why I don't pick no sides or have no labels or anything like that, or associate myself with some specific group other than Lords of the Night, of course.
Sure.
Because this shit, man, nobody's immune to fucking being stupid. They all have it.
I just don't understand how you can get that upset over somebody making a video about you.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. And like I said, if he felt it was the moral thing to do, I did it because Andy was breaking the law. Well, you knew this for how fucking long? You said he's been bragging to you about that, and all of a sudden now you're like, well, I think now's the time. Man, stop it.
Well, I'm not surprised by it in the sense that you know, I mean, with the thing that happened down in Kansas, that was all over a joke over somebody being pissed off at playing Call of Duty with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these days with the instant gratification of videos or video games and small rivalries turning into things, people use any excuse to be an asshole if they have it within their power to do so. And so it doesn't shock me anymore that people do this. I guess what shocks me more than anything else is that, and I've talked about this before, that anybody who's grown up in the internet age to a certain point has such thin skin of things going on the internet that's what gets them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it took me a long time to sort of navigate the world of online interactions versus real life interactions, things that happened in the ether versus things that were actually happening in my life, and being able to sort of delineate between the two, or at least be able to assess which is more important or actually more immediate. But, you know, I don't know, maybe there's some advantage to having lived for some part of my life before the internet to be able to see the difference between the two. I don't know. I think we've talked about this before, but I don't know. It just seems it doesn't surprise me. I still don't understand it. Let's put it that way. Especially reacting like that, like you're going to put somebody's life under threat because they said something about you don't like, or they criticized you. It's like, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and Ian needs to be careful. There've already been people talking about. There's several things that he's done on stream that violate laws in Malaysia where he lives.
Oh, he lives in Malaysia? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you're not even talking about swatting here. If the government got a hold of it, that he could just go to jail. They don't have the free speech we have, y'all. And he has said some horrible shit online.
Well, I hope he doesn't go to jail for horrible shit.
Me too.
But all the same, it's like, okay.
But he's apparently gone through his Twitter today and just cleaned out a whole bunch of shit. I think it was like over 300 messages he's deleted.
Don't you think Northam wishes he could just delete his old
Facebook
like a tweet right now? Yeah.
Just go white out that whole picture.
White out. Uh-oh.
God damn it. CBS News sent out a weird message today.
Okay.
When President Trump delivers his first State of the Union address under divided government on Tuesday, he will be surrounded by women.
Because he's doing it at the Playboy Mansion?
Because of all of the women in Congress now. So they're women.
Oh, is that what they mean? He's not like setting a stage where he's going to be like surrounded by handpicked females to stand around while he's doing it. Oh, surrounded by women. No, the audience will have women in it.
Yeah,
what are you going to do? Like move in and attack him? Like what the fuck is going to happen?
He'll be doing it the same way he always does. I mean, up on the stage, it'll be him.
Yep.
Behind him will be
the speaker and the vice president.
Yeah, Pelosi and who's our vice president?
Pence.
Pence. Yeah.
And the camera will be on him for most of it. It will cut away to those portions where there's an applause line. Only one side of the building will be standing and applauding at any time there is an applause line. And it'll take, half hour, 45 minutes for something that'd probably take about 10 minutes to actually speak. That's it.
Indeed.
Just like every other State of the Union. And but
he's going to be surrounded by him, man.
Well, truth be told, the news cameras will focus in on specific politicians. Now, can you think of one that's going to be center stage at that event?
AOC.
Oh, yeah. AOC.
They will have that on her. She'll have her own camera.
If every network, every major network covering this thing does not at least once center their camera on Ocasio-Cortez, I will be amazed.
Mm-hmm. That's you asked that who was our vice president, because I actually I can't remember why I was even thinking about this, but one day I was just like, who the fuck? Why did I forget who the vice president is?
Nobody cares.
Because the vice president is supposed to be basically a non-event. He's just supposed to be the president in waiting if something goes wrong and decide split decisions in Congress. That's it.
It was just weird though, because I'm just like, man, the whole time Obama was president, like it was never a question. But now I'm just like, we don't even talk about this dude.
Well, he's so low profile in this presidency that I would forgive people for forgetting who the guy was, because he doesn't do anything. He's not as gaffe happy as Joe Biden was, and he's certainly not acting as the president like Cheney was. Or whatever. He's just doing his job, which is not to do much, which is fine.
Check Your Logic says he has fucketry. He got blocked. That's not fucketry, man. That's just a normal day for me.
Yeah.
You know how many times I get blocked on Twitter now?
Okay.
So brief deep topic, or it's not really a deep topic, I guess, but I kind of floated this idea to, I mentioned it last night, and I floated the idea to Monkey and Satsu on Twitter earlier today. And I'm just going to throw that out there for chat, who's, basically the fourth Beatle here. So I made a joke last night about this phrase that keeps popping up over and over and over in news stories that we see, to the effect of sources familiar with the matter. And I made a joke last night. I should do a show or a series called Familiar with the Matter, sort of like Reliable Sources or something. And I was thinking about that today, seriously. I was thinking, okay, if I had a show called Familiar with the Matter, what would it be? What would I do? Because we already talk about politics and news and things on Lords of the Night. And, dissecting reporters' stories is what we already kind of do with Chris Cillizza or otherwise. So I thought, what if, and again, this is all a what if, guys. I'm just sort of like, floating it here to see what you guys think. What if I did a show or like a little live stream once in a while where I had somebody on, just, people I know or just random people off of, friends of friends kind of thing. And regardless of whatever they are a subject matter expert in, that's what we would talk about. So I thought, like, if I had Irate Bear on, I'd ask him about naval service in the UK, because he has some direct knowledge of that. If I had Tailed Feature on, I'd ask him about the Scottish school system or educational system and things like that, since he has some firsthand knowledge of that kind of thing. And I call it Familiar with the Matter. And each one would be about a different subject, focusing specifically on what the guest had some hands-on knowledge about, regardless of what it was. Because, I don't know a hell of a lot of things about anything specific. I'm kind of a jack of all trades myself. But I got a little bit of feedback from Monkey and Satsu. I'd appreciate more. But chat, if you have other things, by all means, it might turn into sort of an extended chat time, but we'll talk about this. What do you guys think, Satsu, Monkey?
I think it'll be cool, depending on like how serious you take it. Like if you make it an actual thing, and you could probably get some really interesting people on there to talk about all kinds of shit.
Yeah, it wouldn't. The only format would be, sort of. I guess my job would be to figure out first and foremost, like what before I have them on the show, like figure out what is it that they're knowledgeable about, some specific topic. We don't necessarily have to stick directly on that, but that should be the focus. and then I sort of try to keep us on task with that and make sure I ask relevant questions and things and don't run out of things to say. But it could be about anything depending on what the show was and who the person was.
I think Vortex just asked the most important question.
What's that?
Will there be interruptions?
No, because it's going to be a one-on-one thing. And if there aren't any interruptions, it'll be because one of us mistook a pause as an ending to someone saying something.
Scrap it. It's a bad idea.
Yeah. Let's see. So what do we got from Genevieve says, it's the Royal Navy. Yeah, thank you for correcting me. You're correct. This is why I would have somebody that knows this stuff. So I don't know. Magister says, excellent idea. Peter says, I think it's a cool idea. Stargazer says, love the idea. Point curation, good idea. You should go for it. Sarah Plyer says, have that be your Sunday stream. Oh, that's an idea. Well, just to test the water. So, Monkey, if I had to nail you down, not literally, although that would be, no. If I had to ask you, what is something that you consider yourself to be legitimately either an expert on or overly knowledgeable about?
Oh.
Even if it's just a hobby or just a passing interest or something that you're just a geek about or something.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't consider myself an expert in anything.
Well, I mean, you've been able to talk at length on economy stuff, on presidential history type things.
Politics would be a good one, and not necessarily, I'm a Republican, Democrat, but the actual game of the politics, going through, especially my lifetime of presidential history.
Mm-hmm.
Sales. I'm very good at sales.
Now, that's something I haven't talked to you, I don't think, at all about. So if I had you on as a guest, I might say, tell me about sales.
Yeah. Me and Monkey would be good at, because that's something I'm really good at.
Random says expert on Stacey Dash. No, just what her boobs look like, dude. Sorry, I don't know much else about her.
Necrosol says, need to be careful. The people may seem to know, but could be bad. Well, I mean, do I ask for your credentials kinds of thing? I mean, it might be entertaining just to say, we're having you on because of X, Y, Z. So what qualifies you to talk about this? And then that in itself could be a conversation. I don't know. Like I say, this is all just sort of a nebulous idea.
Unless you're talking about something like medical procedures. I mean, even going into politics, and what has caused what to happen, a lot of that is subjective. As long as you're still talking about the same factual points, I don't think you have a problem.
Or what you can do is, like, after they give their, why they feel they should be talking about it and give the information that they feel they know about it, you can have a segment where the chat either questions or challenges it,
Oh yeah, no, that would be like that'd be like the closer to do a Q&A kind of thing. And if I had somebody on, I would challenge them and say, so I mean, basically, I have to figure out how to approach it. Like, if I put out a call, let's say, and say, tell me what your area of your claimed area of expertise is, and a little summary of, why you have that expertise, let's say, or what qualifies you to speak knowledgeably about it. Not necessarily that you've got like credentials or anything else. That helps, obviously, especially if it's something very esoteric, like I'm a Star Trek nerd, I know everything about Star Trek or something. That's different. And then sort of I'd have the person on, and going off what little I had, probably a little pre correspondence or something, challenge them, say, okay, so we're going to talk about blah. So tell me, what makes you an expert on blah, and have them just go off. And then, whatever they say, you take it at face value, and then, just continue, and then start asking questions and go see where it goes. And then the last, half hour or whatever, 20 minutes or something would be chat stuff.
Real quick, breaking news.
Oh, breaking news. What happened? What happened?
Elizabeth Warren has come out and asked for Northam's resignation. These racist images are deeply disturbing. Hatred and discrimination have no place in our country and must not be tolerated, especially from our leaders, Republican or Democrat. Northam must resign.
Oh, my God. Okay, so the NAACP, Elizabeth Warren, who else? There was somebody else that was calling for his resignation just in the last 20 minutes, wasn't there?
Oh, it was Chris Cillizza said he didn't think it would be
Oh,
enough.
Chris Cillizza, that's what it was. Yeah, but Chris Cillizza doesn't matter. Well, he matters, but you know.
I don't want to. I want to get back to your idea because I think it's really good. But hatred and discrimination have no place in our country. Is she saying he should be kicked out of the fucking country?
Ooh, he should be deported. I have no idea. This is nuts.
No, I think what you do, and I don't know how much you've actually watched of Joe Rogan.
I've watched a lot of Joe Rogan. I will say, just in case anybody wonders, I wasn't thinking of Joe Rogan when I was coming up with this. A monkey mentioned that when I chatted with him earlier. I thought, oh, I don't know exactly what Joe Rogan's format is. I thought he just. I don't know. I know he had like very eclectic guests on his show. I didn't know if he this was his kind of thing specifically. So I don't know.
No, it's kind of what he does. He just has somebody on and they talk, and it usually ends up being about what they do, what they're an expert in, or a certain subject that he wants to talk about that they're knowledgeable about.
Sure.
I think it's a great idea. I love watching shows like that. Bring people in. It's like you don't even have to go. What is your claim to expertise on this? Just start talking about it, and if that comes up, it comes up.
Well, I think having a focal point, at least start off the conversation, would help, because as we've learned doing this show for a while, if you don't have a little bit of focus for somebody who may not be used to talking on a show or something, you can kind of wander off real quick. So I think at least framing each quote unquote episode with a subject to kick it off from the person saying that they know about X, Y, and Z would probably be a good start.
Yeah, sure. I brought you on because we're going to talk about this, but you don't need to go. So why should we listen to you about that? You can.
No. I mean, tell me about blah and what your experience has been with blah. And then, if they tell me like Diesel Dave says, I've been driving a truck for years and years. Like, hell, I don't know anything about driving long haul trucks or anything. That'd be kind of interesting. Or what kind of stories you get out of that. So like I say, I'm still sort of feeling out in my head, but it sounds like people wouldn't completely hate the idea. So, Satsu, if I had to pigeonhole you into a particular topic of expertise you have, aside from sales, would you say anime or something else, or some secret passion of yours we don't know about?
Yeah, I mean, media maybe, like video games, anime, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like talking about that relationship stuff for some reason I seem to be good at, because all my life I've been like the go-to person for like advice and relationship or just getting along with other people, because I guess people seem to think that the person who hates everyone is the person to go to to talk about that. Although this lady that I used to talk to back when I was younger, like she was like the school psychiatrist or whatever. And she used to tell me like, cause I used to joke with her and tell her like, I hate people all the time. And her joke was like, I think it's your understanding of people probably leads you to believe that you hate them, but that's probably why you're easy to talk to, is because you understand people so much. And then people like, seek you out for that advice because you're like, I don't like you because I understand you. Which is a weird concept, but yeah, a lot of people tend to come to me for that type of advice.
Sure, an advice columnist,
I guess.
Cryptic says, so should Pocahontas. I'm assuming you mean resign. Let's see. No one nowhere says, your lack of format is triggering the audience, Scribe Light. Well, I'm trying to establish a potential format during deep topic time, which is part of this format. So you've just had formatception.
I think they were talking about the fact that you completely skipped over me on the fuck tree.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I waited for you guys to talk. You were talking about.
No, you guys did your back and forth ping pong thing, and then you moved right on to that thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you joined in on the stuff about. Okay, I apologize, Satsu.
No, it was about to be chat time. So
go ahead.
No, it's chat time.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that was totally not intentional at all. I apologize.
No, it's fine. Like I said, I could have jumped in, but I was just like, I wonder if he's going to notice. So I was talking shit in the chat.
I just kind of opened it up after I talked about the Ian Miles Chong thing and just sort of let it go. So, all right. Well, and now my phone's beeping at me. Please don't tell me something bad happened. Not yet. Okay. All right. Well, guys, it is chat time. It is your time to talk and ask questions. If anybody wants to ask Satsu if he has any internet fucketry, that would.
I was just putting that in chat for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that would help me save face, sort of. But if you have questions, comments, complaints, conspiracy theories, suggestions for my potential talk show thingy, please put them in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of chat marks after those. And if you have any just statements you'd like us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. And moving up, let's see. James Colley says, want to hear about the 12.5 days I spent in a mental institution, Scribe Light?
Holy shit.
Now, being on YouTube isn't a mental institution. Just oh no. I don't know. Maybe. I like I said, this is all very nebulous in my brain right now. Point Curation says, Scribe Light, would you consider setting up an email address for exploring it, give it to your audience, and ask for subject matter experts to pitch subjects? Maybe. That's an idea. I'll think about it. Check Your Logic says, Monkey, how do you feel about the handicap emoji?
I don't feel about it.
Does it cause you harm, Monkey?
No.
Does it
Did
hurt
your life get better once they added it?
The only two emojis I use are this big smiling face and the wink. I don't even care that the others exist.
Let's see. Random American says, Satsu, do you have any fucketry?
You silly fucks. I did want you guys to decipher this this tweet for me, because I had to tilt my head sideways. But it says, cisgender women are still talking about their vaginas and periods as iconographies and symbols of womanhood, reeks of bioessentialist violence and eugenics. But okay.
Bioessentialist violence and eugenics over focusing on the vagina as an icon.
Mm-hmm.
Was that written by an algorithm?
It seems that way. I was looking at this and I was like, what? My only response to that was, you sound sophisticatedly butthurt.
There you go.
And that was it, because I was like, okay.
Let's see. Motto Winner says, Lords of the Night, what do you think of Hogan's Heroes remake, but in an ISIS prison camp? Well, that would make the ISIS people... Wait, an ISIS prison camp where we're keeping people from ISIS locked up? Or a prison camp that's run by ISIS? I assume you mean the latter, or else you can't really have a Hogan's Heroes things. Otherwise, you make heroes out of the ISIS members. What do I think about it? It would never be made. But does ISIS maintain prison camps? I don't know.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Cynical Lindsay says, Scribe Light, we need to have a movie discussion stream again in the near future. Just saying. It's Monkey's time and energy and everything else, guys. It's I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but I mean I'm ready for just about anything if we have.
What was the question?
Doing movie streams again.
Oh, yeah, maybe eventually.
Let's see. Peter Silak, Hades 313. Monkey, is it true that the Speaker of the House is the third in line? So if the president and vice president die or something, Pelosi would be acting president?
No, she would be president, not acting president.
Yeah, she would be president. If they're gone, she is acting president until the next election.
She's, yeah, that's how it works.
Yep. Let's see. The Demomon 57. Scribelight, I just looked at Twitter, and there is an Escape from New York remake in the works. Safe bet it's going to be meh to bad. Thoughts? They've been trying to remake Escape from New York for a long time. There was a brief time where they were going to remake Escape from New York with Gerard Butler as Snake Plissken, and the problem was that oh my god, why am I forgetting the fucking actor's name all of a sudden? Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell came out and said, no, Snake Plissken needs to be played by an American. Now I don't know if that actually torpedoed that particular attempt at making that movie, but I remember that very, very explicitly. So now it's being, put in the works again to be remade. Who knows if it will, because it's been on in development hell for years. As far as how I feel about it, I don't think you can remake a classic like that, nor is it necessary. And the times have changed as such that I don't think the story, which has been redone and retold and inspired so many films since then, would fly with people today. They would have to just completely rearrange everything about that movie, and I don't think it would work.
I just want to do this because I don't get to do it very often. I'm going to correct you on how to pronounce his name.
Kurt Russell?
No, the guy who asked the question. It's the Demo Man.
Oh, okay, well, I apologize.
No, I fuck names up so often. I'm taking the chance to correct someone else.
RJ Bansma, Scribelight, what would you do if you won a contest to watch the Daytona 500? Well, I can watch it on the internet, so it would be a pretty cheap contest. But if you're talking about like flying there and getting to see it and everything, I'd probably give it to someone who is a fan of racing, because I wouldn't enjoy it. Not the way that somebody who actually appreciates that stuff. Besides Florida, I don't know if I'd want to go to Florida. I'd probably give it to Monkey. Florida, he'd enjoy the heat down there. You like car racing, Monkey?
I'm not a race fan, no.
Okay. Yeah, I'd find somebody who was like a big race fan and give it to them.
I'm a
fan, you say?
I like crashes. That's about it.
There you go. Let's see. Carrick says, if you ever want volcanoes to be a topic for your show, I know a decent amount, by no means a pro, but a good massive interest in that and geology in general. Yeah, I mean, it'd be something. I wouldn't necessarily have people on who were like, necessarily accredited experts in something, but just people who have a passion for something or have a working knowledge of things, and then that kind of stuff. It'd be very relatively casual.
You can bring Squishy on for random facts and conspiracy theories.
That's true.
Well, then we just have like hours to talk because I know way too much about way too many things.
I think you and Squishy would have some fun with that because she loves that shit.
Let's see. Harvest Marva says, anybody see Kamala Harris's tweet with Stacey Abrams where she literally took a pic with a literally passed out drunk drug addict on a bench in the background while praising Abrams?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I did see somebody tag me.
I did not see that. Is that a gaffe?
I don't get why. I mean, she praises her, says something like, "This is like the best of the country" or some crap like that. And there's just dude laying on a bench up in front of him.
Yeah, it's an unintentional photo bomb, and people are making something like she did that intentionally or something. Yeah.
What the fuck? Marvel Studios Oscar Best Picture nominee Black Panther returns to the big screen beginning February 1st.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's coming out for free. Like you can see it for free.
Yeah, you can see it for free. Yeah.
For Black History Month. I'm like, hell yeah, I still ain't seen that movie.
Because Wakanda's Black History.
It is.
And it's not like that movie hasn't already made enough money as it is, so putting out for free is just...
That looked good for the fans and good for people like Satsu who haven't seen it, but wasn't that shit on Netflix?
Dude.
Yeah. Well, on the big screen, Monkey. Big screen and Netflix are two different things.
Yeah, you can watch that bad fight scene in big screen. Sorry, Satsu, go ahead.
Yeah.
The first comment on that post on Facebook is, "Can white people go?"
Point Creation says, Scribelight, if you could pick any shadowy world-ruling organization to belong to, which would it be? Oh, you mean like in all of fiction, per se? Gosh. Probably... Oh, I don't know. The Sabbat. Because then at least I'd be a vampire. Scribe Light, how do you like your pepper jack, Dr. Scribe? How do I like it? Well, usually with a little bit more pepper than jack, so as to not overpower. Like, you got to find just the right balance where it's got that alcohol kick, but it still tastes like Dr. Pepper and is nice and sweet, not too whiskey. I don't have an exact measurement for that. It's something to the effect of 1/4 Jack and 3/4 Dr. Pepper, something like that. I don't overdo it. I try not to. Let's see. Random American says, go with the Illuminati. The Illuminati was a drinking club. It doesn't mean anything. Whatever. Maybe the Stonecutters. Remember the Stonecutters from The Simpsons? Who made Gutenberg a star? We do. We do.
The Carpet Munchers from Cow and Chicken.
Carpet Munchers.
Let's see. Peter says, did you hear Zac Efron will be playing Ted Bundy in a new movie? I am offended. He isn't even a murderer. They are taking roles away from real serial killers. Hey.
Well played. Who was that?
That was Peter Silac, Hades 313.
Peter, well played.
Yeah, Zac Efron. Now I will say that if you're gonna have somebody play Ted Bundy, they need to look good. Ted Bundy was an attractive individual. He was a Hollywood-looking guy.
You need a murderer.
Well, yeah, you need a murderer. That too.
Fucking High School Musical.
Yeah, I know, right? What a switch in his act. I mean, I'd be. That's the kind of thing that I always find the most interesting to watch in actors, where they do something that is 180 degrees away from what you'd expect. Like when Robin Williams did 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah,
he was. I mean, first off, he was fascinating to watch and fucking terrifying. And this is Robin Williams. This is the genie. This is Mork, for God's sakes. It's like, holy shit. So if Zac Efron can pull off the horror that was Ted Bundy, kudos, because that really does show your range and your ability to sort of like defy your typecasting. There was a series of serial killer movies in the early 2000s, I think, late 90s, early 2000s. There was one about Bundy. There was one about Gacy. There's one about Ed Gein. They did one on Dahmer. And they were sort of these kind of low-budget direct-to-video things. They were interesting just because it was such a weird sort of collection to have if you had them all. I've got the Ed Gein one, and I think the Gacy one somewhere. I didn't get the Dahmer one or the Bundy one, even though I read a lot about Bundy and the Green River guy, which Bundy was tangentially involved with, sort of. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Does Pepper know about Jack Scribbles, says Jenna P. Well, sure as hell better when they're mixed together in a cup and then in my tummy. Let's see. Harvest Marvel says, any 2 or 3 separated movies, TV series, etc. you'd like to see all combined into? What? Oh, like a crossover? Jeez, I don't know. I suppose it'd be funny if Supernatural crossed over with Lucifer for an episode or 2. That'd be kind of funny.
South Park and Meet the Press.
There you go. Just completely like throw darts at a wall kind of thing. How about The Last Kingdom and Daredevil? R.J. Bandsman says, Scribe, what role would you cast me as in Star Trek? I don't know. You mean like if you were playing an established character, or like just a position on the ship kind of thing? Oh, I don't know. I guess it depends on what you'd be interested in playing.
I think an interesting crossover would be The Walking Dead and Friends, since I wasn't asked.
That would be now. Are the Friends The Walking Dead in that instance, or are they fighting?
No, they're the protagonists. They're trying to survive.
Who's the first friend to get bitten and turn into a zombie?
Joey.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a moron. It would happen.
No one nowhere says Bill and Ted and the Matrix. Oh, that would be trippy. Like they take their. It turns out that Neo was actually a mind wiped Ted Theodore Logan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so
Esquire.
when Bill and Ted time travel into the future, they actually time travel into the future of their real world, but where his entire memory has been wiped and he's been completely replaced in his mind as Neo or Mr. Anderson or whatever. Let's see. RJ says, yeah, as an established character. Truth be told, RJ, text is one of the worst mediums to try to get across someone's real personality or anything. So I wouldn't know where to put you. Maybe Trelane, maybe Q. I don't know. Let's see. Sorry.
Planned Parenthood is now. Did we already do Planned Parenthood calling for?
No.
Yeah, they've come out. Northam tours. I'm telling you, if he lasts the night, I'll be shocked.
Okay, so far, as far as I know, we got the NAACP, we got Planned Parenthood, we got Elizabeth Warren. Those are the three that I know of.
Yes.
Let's see. Anybody else? I've got a story here. And Chris Cillizza, technically. We're talking about. Oh, Julian Castro. That's right. Julian Castro. I think he was one of the very first ones. It doesn't matter if he's a Republican or Democrat. This behavior was racist and unconscionable. Governor Northam should resign. So presidential candidate Julian Castro is the
Kirsten Gillibrand.
Kirsten Gillibrand. Oh.
All of the presidential candidates are coming out and saying, leave, dude.
Of course. That's competition. They're like, get the fuck out of here.
we need Booker and Harris to come out and give a statement. Let's see. Lords of the Night, who would you bang from Friends, says Mata Winter. Oh, Monica.
Rachel, I've had a long thing for her.
Yeah, long.
I got a long thing for her.
Is it longer than your foot?
It's longer than my foot. Jennifer Aniston. Oh my God, hell yeah.
She still looks good.
Yeah, she does.
She looks fucking. What was that movie that she was in recently where she was trying to fucking like rape that dude or whatever?
Oh, Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses.
Oh my God, dude! I was just like, God, dude.
You know you would have fucked her, dude. Stop,
dude. Dude, I'd have been weak as fuck.
Yep.
Sarah Plyer asks, Scribe Light, do you have a playroom? No, I live in a relatively spacious apartment, but I don't have a dungeon or nothing in that regard. So unfortunately, no.
Velma.
Someday, maybe.
100%.
Velma.
Velma? Velma.
You'll see it when you get to it.
Oh, Velma or Daphne? Yeah, Velma.
Velma, 100%.
More repressed sexually than Daphne, probably.
Oh yeah, fuck Daphne.
Fuck Daphne. Daphne's a thought, man.
Hey, have you seen some of the Velma cosplay?
Oh my God!
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I just saw one on Facebook. This thick girl, like squishy girl. She was bonded, like wrapped up in rope or whatever, with a veil. Oh my God, dude.
And going from that to Cynical Lindsay's question: as a kid, what was your favorite toy?
Probably my G.I. Joe action figures.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I had a favorite. It was probably some Spider-Man action figure of mine, I think. Something like that.
I really liked Wrestling Men. I had a fuck ton of them when I was a kid, and I used to use my sister's dollhouse to do Royal Rumble matches.
Nice. we got a ring at a yard sale for $3, dude, for ours. It was great.
Dude, I used to have
those things were expensive.
Yeah, they weren't cheap.
Frosted Glass says, would you want to see a Bundy, Geen, Dahmer, etc. Avengers style team up movie?
Oh my God.
That would be fucking hilarious. Yeah, it's like, let's get together. Like the new Monster Squad, right? You get all the like famous serial killers.
That would work. They could do a Civil War too.
Oh yeah. Speaking of sort of like that, apparently. So did you guys ever watch Penny Dreadful?
No.
Okay, so Penny Dreadful has 3 seasons. The first season is excellent. It's really cool, really great. Victorian vampires and werewolves and all that kind of stuff. Really great acting. The second and third seasons are absolute garbage, and they get progressively worse. And so it ended on a really downer, like, what the fuck were you guys thinking note. Apparently, they're going to do a second series set in 1930s Los Angeles. Now, the conceit of Penny Dreadful was they essentially said all of these characters from sort of Victorian writing, like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, all these things are real characters existing in the same world. It's sort of a shared universe of all these different literary characters, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde were in there too, and that kind of thing, but played straight, essentially, not like Van Helsing. And season 1 worked out really good. It was great. 1930s Los Angeles could work if they do some noir stuff, but I'm really curious as to what legends and or literary characters from America setting they're going to put into that, because most of the ones in Penny Dreadful were, British/Victorian based to begin with. I don't know. Anyway, I saw that and I was kind of like, oh, and I'm kind of surprised anybody would fund that, because one of the issues with Penny Dreadful is it was so expensive to make. Anyway.
Real quick, I just want to point this out on Steam. It's not a game I'm interested in, but Soul Calibur 6 is on sale for 40% off.
Ooh.
What's the price?
It's $36, but 40% off is a nice, if you're interested in that kind of game, something you guys should check out.
I like Soul Calibur.
Let's see. Hey, Camel asks, we know about Joe Rogan and Dorsey. Yeah, we know about that. I'll probably end up watching it tomorrow. Frosted Glass says, what movie scared you the most as a kid? Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I saw that before Nightmare on Elm Street 1, so that one scared me the most because it was the first Nightmare on Elm Street I ever saw.
The first one, definitely.
Yeah, after I saw the first one, I'd probably put that, but at least the one that got me the first off, third one scared the shit out of me.
The movie that terrified me as a kid, or at least I don't even remember why, because I don't think I've ever seen them all the way through, but Hellraiser.
Oh, yeah.
That scared the shit out of me as a kid, and I never knew why, because I'd never seen it like all the way through, but I saw an image of that dude, and it freaked me the fuck out as a kid.
Yeah, 1 and 2 are really good. It starts going downhill at the third one. Let's see. Harvest Marvels. Considering all the fake news and violence and accusations, etc., realistically, what do you think it would have been like if Hillary had won? Oh, it'd be the reverse of what we're having now. I mean, maybe not to the same extent, but the Republicans would be going full bore on her, just like the Democrats are going full bore on Trump. It'd be over different issues. And I don't know what the political landscape or the primary. I certainly don't think we would have been having peace talks with North Korea. But as far as like the news and everything else, it would be like Obama 2.0 as far as that goes, I think.
I think things would be completely different. I think you're right. It would be Obama 2.0. I think there would be, of course, people out there sniping and stuff, but the news would be completely on her side. So
yeah,
CNN would be masturbating every day to pictures of her.
Yeah, the media that leans right will do the same stuff they were doing under Obama. And yeah, so that's kind of the landscape you'd see in the media right now. I don't think that it would have prevented all the layoffs and things that are happening. I think they still would have, some of the digital media would have tired themselves out to the point where they're not being profitable. I don't think that would have changed, but let's see. 6-minute warning, guys. The Demo Man 57 says Predator. Then I stopped being a wimp. Now I love it. Yeah, Predator's great. Quinn the Angry. What mafia job would you want to have? The guy that doesn't get caught.
Boss.
Whatever job that is. Well, no, the boss puts a big target on your back. You want to
do it right.
No, you want to be the consigliere. You want to be the guy behind the throne.
I want to be the Catholic priest fence.
Yeah. Now you want to be the what's his name? Tom from Godfather. Tom Hagen.
Those are the only people who get away when it's all said and done.
Oh yeah, the guy on the side, the kingmaker.
No. Michael died without going to jail. He died an old man.
Yeah, but he lost everything, and his daughter was murdered, and all that other stuff. That's no fun. Tom just had to watch on the sidelines.
So you just don't have kids.
Okay,
you're fine.
Too late for you. Let's see. Motto Winter says, Lords of the Night, why is it you can advertise every medicine and alcohol but not smoking? You can advertise smoking. It's just you're restricted on where you can do it now. That's all. And you have to always put the Surgeon General's warning up.
You can't really advertise any alcohol other than beer. You're talking about like on TV.
You can do hard liquor in limited places now, I think. It's always magazine ads for the most part, but you can.
Right.
I mean, usually now. So what happens is that they'll do someone will do a hard liquor ad that technically is a British ad, but when it's on the internet, anybody can see it. It's like the boundaries of what ads end up in one place or another, but some aren't relevant in other countries because they don't have companies there or something. But yeah, but smoking was the thing that they can't put cigarette commercials on TV anymore or whatever. I don't know if that's a law or just like an FCC regulation or something. Let's see. Sarah Ply says, I watched Hellraiser for 3 minutes and had to shut it off. Yeah, Hellraiser is it's a tough sit. The first one, Clive Barker, for everything else, he as goofy as that movie is now to some horror fans, he did a really good job with that one movie, at least making it uncomfortable to watch. Data Wasteland says, Scribe Light, I'm drawing a total blank. What was Hillary's running mate? Or who was Hillary's running mate? That was Kane. Tom Kane?
Tom Kane, yeah.
Or something like that. Anyway, yeah. Let's see. Backscan says, how long do you think it will take for the internet to finish off TV? Oh, TV's not going anywhere. I mean, the digital TV sitting in front of your whatever. I mean, the way stuff is delivered to you may continue to change a bit, but just sitting in front of a screen in your living room, that's not going to change.
Is Grisella in the chat?
Oh, sorry, Tim Kane. Tim Kane.
Oh yeah, Tim.
I saw Grisella earlier. I don't know
why. Share my screen.
Share your screen. Okay.
He told me that this would be cool, and I wanted him the opportunity to be able to see his artwork on the shirt. I don't know if I'm gonna set it up for selling yet, but I like the way it looks. I think it looks pretty cool.
Kino Bino. Let's see. Back to the TV thing real quick. I don't know the internet will finish off television. It's changing the way people consume the media. Like binging shows now is an option instead of like waiting for it to recycle off the networks or something. People starting their own, like what we're doing right now. We're effectively either a talk show or a podcast or a radio show, depending on how you decide to consume this entertainment. That I don't think has quite turned over the major networks and things, but there's going to come a time where the networks and such are going to become less and less relevant over time. I don't know how that's going to hash out in the end, but we shall see. 2-minute warning. Let's see, anything else?
Is that real?
Grisilla says, I'll buy one. Is what real?
CNN tonight, when they were covering Northam, they actually listed him as a Republican from Virginia.
Oh! Wishful thinking, maybe?
Good
Not
job,
that it matters at this point.
Good job, dumbasses. And thank you, Prospero, for pointing that out to me. Jesus fuck.
Dean says, I'm watching Live PD while chatting. Yeah, Live PD, the cops of the modern age. My dad loves Live PD. Oh, he watched that stuff all the time. Cops and Live PD, he's set forever. Well, guys, by the time I finish this, we'll be at the top of the hour. So remember, just after this over on 2 Cents Plus, Monkey and Satsu will be fighting zombies in 7 Days to Die. And always over on Monkey's channel tomorrow, we will be doing Lords of the Night per usual. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As you always do, you guys seriously are the best audience. on the internet, if not the world, if not the universe. But who knows? Maybe there's an alien audience out there somewhere that's much better than you guys. But we don't know that yet. Thank you, moderators, for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is the best behaved in relative terms in the world. And everyone who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. Thanks again to everybody for your words, tweets, and otherwise of support today for my rough day. My fingers are crossed that it's all going to work itself out one way or the other. Probably will, hopefully. But if it doesn't, trust me, I'll mention it. And yeah, Monkey, Satsu, thank you for joining me as always.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Later, bitches. Do you know this dude is trending on 3 different things on Twitter?
I'm not shocked.
Holy shit.
All right. Today's secret word is reinforcement.
Got to reinforce that leather butt.
Leather butt.